So let's talk about Marvel and the MCU.
Right, so we're talking about Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, Daredevil, Ghost Rider,
X-Men.
Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men First Class,
Origins Wolverine,
of course, you can't forget that.
the crown
you cannot
jewel
forget that.
of the X-Men
What other
universe.
popular MCU universe films?
The Hulk with Eric Banner.
You might find that was just called Hulk, my good friend. Just Hulk. There's no the involved.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
You told me already.
Yeah, well,
You'd love the MCU.
I love it. I don't have a problem with it. I reckon even all the ones that people say are pretty average, I reckon they're great. So what's that? Thor 2. Didn't have a problem with it. I mean, yeah, the baddie was pretty turd, but I mean,
Who even was it?
Malekith. He was like an elf guy. Christopher Eccleston. He's probably from the comics. I don't know.
Christopher Eccleston. Who's that?
It was Doctor Who in the first season of the reboot,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
other things.
Right, Doctor Who.
And
a thing I know nothing about.
yeah, I know nothing about Doctor Who. And the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
Ed Norton.
I think that movie is sick,
It's not bad.
and
really not
everyone
bad.
thinks it's a turd, especially because they changed the actor
Yep.
around.
I got some beef.
Which irks me.
It irks
but
me a lot.
Mark Ruffalo is way better.
Yeah.
As Bruce Banner and as the Hulk.
You like
So-
Mark Ruffalo?
You like him? Yeah. What a hunk of spunk, right?
You got a crush on Mark Ruffalo?
He's too
He's
old.
too old, apparently. Well, you are 60.
But yeah, in terms of, I'm looking at the list here, and they're all bloody brilliant. I didn't see any of the first ones at the cinema up until the Avengers. So I didn't see Iron Man, Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, or Captain America, the First Avenger. I didn't see them at the cinema, so I saw them on DVD or whatever.
I saw... Okay, let me just look at your list. I saw The Incredible Hulk at the cinema. I saw Iron Man 2 at the cinema. And I saw The Avengers at the cinema. What are you doing that face for?
I fucked up the book stack
Oh, no.
with the laptop.
Don't... You can't hurt Del Toro Quest. I mean, this is classic literature right here.
I'm gonna flip it
I
back to
didn't.
me.
I didn't see Iron Man at the cinema, or Thor, or Captain America. I was gonna see Captain America. I'm glad I didn't though. I didn't really like it.
I think First Avenger's great. I think it's a good time. It's good
Eh.
pulp action. But yeah, apart from that, like I've seen all the other ones since at the movies.
Now, what?
So that's what, like, 10?
What? Part 1 of my beef is I don't really
Phase 1.
phase. Well, actually, topical, because my issue is I don't really understand how they've broken these phases up.
What do you mean?
Like, I can see it now written out, but before I've looked at this, it was like, what do they mean? Because they advertise it like phase 1, phase 2.
What do you mean? Like what do you mean? Why didn't
Okay,
you get
so what? Okay, as far as plot arcs go, what divides phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3? Because this could be from a point of ignorance. I may not have been paying attention. I don't actually understand. If they've broken it into phases, wouldn't it make sense that each phase has its own start and end?
They do. That's why they start and end.
I don't understand. I haven't been able to pick up watching them.
Okay.
What the end is, because Thanos is like the big bad, right?
He is.
He is the guy behind the invasion in the Avengers, right?
Yes.
That doesn't resolve him. It doesn't kill him. He's a villain introduced in, like, do you understand like what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
get why they're broken up, and I feel like they have somewhat failed at creating 3 distinct arcs. I feel
Okay.
like it still is just one big arc.
Okay. Well, let me explain it the best I can, because I'm not like a super. What's that dude?
You're not Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
Joss Whedon is what I said.
Yeah, Joss. Well, I mean, he's got beef too because I kicked him out.
Yeah, and he made the best. I think The Avengers is a great movie.
Yeah, everyone does.
Why did they get rid of him? He was awesome.
Well, because he made number 2.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Number 2 wasn't very good.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Sorry,
okay,
Joss.
so phase 1, right, is it says here Avengers Assembled, and it is because it starts with Iron Man and it introduces all the other characters. You got Iron Man, the Hulk, then Iron Man had another little side adventure called Iron Man 2, which not everyone hates it. It's not that bad. It's got Sam Rockwell in it, so I mean he's great. Then it's got Thor, and Captain America. So you've introduced the 4 main, like the powerful Avengers, the ones that actually can influence the tides of battle.
Okay.
Yeah, but apart from the other 2 or whatever. And then that all culminated in them coming together in 2012 as the Avengers. So that's phase 1. It's like, here's everybody. Boop, boop, boop.
So,
And there's a
okay,
big
so
party
it's
at the
more,
end.
it's a platform. Like, the gang's all here. That's the end. Right. I didn't know that this was what they were...
Well, with phase 2...
Like I said, it is coming from a bit of a point of ignorance that I do feel like should have been filled more by the movies.
But this is stuff that's only for the people who are like really into it.
Okay.
So a normal moviegoer, like a normie, would see, especially with Doctor Strange coming out, because this is the first time he's been introduced, and this is the first time we've had an origin story since
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Yeah, before that was Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're like a year apart, those 2. But with Ant-Man, like, it had Paul Rudd. It's like, hell yeah, everyone loves Paul Rudd. He's been around for like 25 years. And Guardians of the Galaxy, that had fantastic marketing behind it, and everyone was like, let's go see this fucking raccoon and tree movie. That looked great, and it turns out that it was.
Well, what's the lead actor's name? Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yeah.
He's riding a wave of people. People love that guy.
He was on fire when that came out, because it was that, and then he got cast or filmed in Jurassic World, and so he just blew up. Anyway, yeah. So Doctor Strange was the first time we've had a proper,
and it was good.
And it was good. Like
what phase is Doctor Strange?
Well, that's part of phase 3, and here's why.
Right. Okay. All right.
So
let you finish.
phase 2 was Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, which is Avengers 2, and then Ant-Man. So what they did, Iron Man came to the end of his trilogy, just started off, because that was the first movie after the Avengers. He was dealing with, like, interdimensional aliens and things like that, and saving the world. Like, he basically had PTSD from the Avengers, because that was a huge event, and he basically just had to deal with it in the Avengers movie.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Who? No. I was listening. I missed which character you're talking about.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
So Tony Stark, it's like he's just a dude, right?
He doesn't have
He's
abilities.
a billionaire, and he built the suit, right? And before that, so we've only seen Iron Man twice. Before that, 3 times if you count the post scene in Hulk, which, I mean, whatever. So what am I trying to say? There's no supernatural element to the Iron Man franchise until Part 3, because the Avengers, which was the movie that was before Iron Man 3, was like, hey, aliens and all this magic stuff, and we knew about magic, the Asgardians and aliens and things
abilities
from Thor.
Yes.
Right. So that explains Iron Man 3, and so he's dealing with that, and that's why that started phase 2, because it was the next stage in his arc.
Okay.
Alright, and then from there, it went to Thor 2, which was like, let's get some more Thor happening in there. Then Captain America Winter Soldier, that was the one that kind of cracked everything open in terms of, like, the political side.
Yeah, because of Hydra.
Yeah, because of Hydra, because they cracked the code and was like, oh, turns out Hydra's bad, and we've been working for Hydra, and we better not do that no more, because they're bad.
Okay.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Because S.H.I.E.L.D. was Nick Fury and all that. Yeah, right. And so from there, and then we had Guardians of the Galaxy, which was that introduced... Oh, no, wait. So... Because the whole thing's building to the Infinity Stone, Infinity War thing with Thanos.
Right.
Okay, and so in Thor, what was it? The
Avenger. Okay, because with the
Captain America had the Tesseract in it.
Yeah, and then that was also in
also in the Avengers,
and one of these Infinity Stones.
Yes.
Another thing that I feel like has been too glanced over, and it's going to end up being the ultimate thing, right? Because Thanos is trying to get all the stones for that glove. I only know that because I've done all this extra research since seeing Doctor Strange, and it was like an Infinity Stone. I'm like, okay, I've heard it before. Why hasn't it been properly outlined in a single moment in any of these films where they've gone, this is what this does?
They did it in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did they?
Yes.
I fell asleep watching that movie.
It's
that was
great.
a good movie, though.
It was a great movie.
It was good. I felt
They had that little expositional scene with the Collector, and he's like, before, there were all these ancient truths, I think he calls them. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, and then it shows all the little screens of in Thor 2 they had the ether, which is the red one. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, each stone has a different...
Yeah.
Okay,
and now the Mind Stone, which was in Loki's scepter in the Avengers, which he tapped, people on the head and control their minds. That is now in
Vision.
The robot guy. Yeah, Vision.
Yeah.
Because it's his
Paul
mind.
Bettany.
It's his brain. So
Jarvis.
The introduction of him means that eventually he's going to have to die for Thanos to have his glove complete.
And Thanos just wants to wreck everyone, basically. He's just big bad.
I don't really know. I know that he's, in the comics, he's like in love with death, and that's why he seeks war and death and destruction, because he like wants to please Lady Death. So, man, like, comics are weird. And these movies are weird, but they're about as normie weird as you can get. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because everyone loves them. Everyone loves Iron Man. All the kids love Iron Man and Captain America and all that. These movies are great. These are great. Age of Ultron. Okay, so everything before Age of Ultron was like giving characters arcs and introducing them and expanding the world, whereas Age of Ultron was just moving the pieces around. Ultron had all the pieces in play and people needed to be introduced and concepts needed to be introduced and people needed to be split apart, and it sowed the seeds for Civil War.
Good film.
Great film. And it had Spider-Man.
Yeah, Captain America Civil War was very good.
And Ant-Man was basically just dessert after Ultron. So after the entire Phase 2, which was Winter Soldier, which was pretty dark. Iron Man 3 was pretty dark and weird. It had the guy breathing fire. Thor: The Dark World was, I don't know, it was good, but it's not exactly memorable. Guardians of the Galaxy was a little side story. Ultron was massive. And then Ant-Man was like, here's this little fun little
adventure introducing
Ant-Man,
character.
and now Ant-Man is part of it. So basically, it was important, but it was...
Because Age of Ultron, I didn't love Age of Ultron.
I think anyone
Another
really
film
did.
I fell asleep in.
I thought it was great, but I think they're all great, but I didn't love it. Anyway, so yeah, like Phase 1, just introducing everything. Phase 2 was... Because it's structured like a film. You have Phase 1, Act 1, introducing everybody and sowing the conflict. Phase 2 is dealing with the conflict, and Act 2 and Phase Act 3 is the resolution of the conflict, and then with the way movies go now with making universe, because everything has to have a little friggin' universe.
Yeah.
But because the Marvel one is the most successful one.
Everything's got lore now.
Yeah. Well, Phase 3 is...
It makes it like, who's got the time?
Well,
who has
it's
the
over
time?
years.
I know, but who's got... No, but I mean not just for one franchise. I mean for... They're marketing to the same core demographic, all these franchises. How is one... I am but one man. How do I have the time to... Because I want to. I want to commit to all these franchises, and it's hard.
What do you mean all these like...
Marvel, DCU, Star Wars is expanding.
Yeah, but Star Wars has been around for 40 years.
I know, Star Trek is trying to become a thing. It's trying to grow
it's making
legs.
the new TV show as
Yeah,
well,
it's trying to grow legs. Plus,
but
TV.
Star Trek's been around for 50 years.
I know.
So...
Yeah, but
they've got decades.
Who's got the time? That's my point. Like, I like that they're building these things.
Fans.
I like that they're building these things into worlds to commit to. But as people...
But I mean, like...
Anyone watching this,
there's a
all
lot of
5
hours
of you
in
will
the
know
day.
that we like games and we like movies and TV, and there's all these worlds that we want to... It's just hard. I'm not attacking Marvel at all. I'm just saying, it's hard.
There's a lot, man.
There's so much out there that I
built
want...
an empire.
They have, and like, entertainment's just so big. And all these companies are like, well, I want a piece of the Marvel pie and build my own empire and our own world. Like DC did it. DC are doing it because Marvel did it.
Yeah, because they kind of...
They didn't have
these enormous properties like Superman and
I
Batman.
don't think they had plans until probably we're getting to the Avengers, and they're
Well,
like...
it was only because
damn.
The Dark Knight happened in the... Like, 2008 had Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, and they were joined, but people were still a bit like,
What's going
hey,
on?
this guy's from Iron Man, and now he's in Hulk. Maybe they're in the same... But The Dark Knight came out the same year, because before The Dark Knight, it was 2005's Batman Begins, and that was the big DC property
Yeah.
of that time, and then, but that was just made like a normal movie. people didn't think that there were these huge comic book universes, apart from, sequels like Batman and Batman Returns and Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Like, those are sequels. They're not a universe.
Yeah. It's changed now. The way they do things.
It's completely changed. But DC had to, and Legendary and Warner Brothers, they had to stick with Nolan because everyone lost their minds about The Dark Knight. And then it took 4 years to make a sequel. And that was 4 years of nothing related to Batman, except for like games and comics and other. But like no Christian Bale, no like huge.
No feed for the normies, basically.
Yeah, no Nolan movies.
Yeah.
Like no, and so that franchise sat dormant from 2008 to 2012, and by that time, Marvel had like they'd done Phase 1.
Yeah,
they did
done.
Everything up until the Avengers.
Yeah.
So and then everyone was like, "Oh, these comic book movies, that's sick." But what happened in 2011 was Green Lantern, and people were like, "Well, that's a DC movie. Is that going to be in the Batman ones?"
Yeah.
And like, no, it wasn't. But yeah, bling.
I'm the one that does the.
I'll do the bling, 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 bling.
Shut up.
Hadouken!
But yeah, so by that time DC had been like, well, we have to finish this one. You got to have a trilogy because movies that only have two, like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, it's just like, what's even the point of watching it?
It's just a shame, like that. It does no good sitting here going, "Oh, I wish it was different," but I'm gonna say it anyway. I wish Nolan had, even if he didn't direct, even if he had penned the plan, because
He did. He produced Man of Steel.
Okay, I did not know that. I didn't know he
And
produced
that's
it.
when Man of Steel came out the year after Dark Knight Rises. There was plans, like he sowed the seed, but then he was kind of like, nah, screw that.
Yeah.
And I love, like, Batman v Superman, I thought it was real good.
Yeah, I thought it was good too.
So,
We got unpopular opinions on that, but I liked
yeah.
it too.
But
All
that's for another episode about DC. Anyway, very stoked about Marvel and the way it's going.
I feel like I'm playing catch up all the time. Like, I don't get the core thing about them. Like I said, the Infinity thing. I probably need to go back and rewatch them. It's interesting hearing from someone who I know is so into it.
It's all in there.
Yeah, I just need
And
to
if you know what you're looking for.
I just need to go do my homework myself.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's wrap that up.
Yes, Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah, you got, what are your thoughts on the
What are
Marvel
your favorite?
universe?
What's your favorite Marvel film?
Bling!
My favorite Marvel film is probably Civil War. Captain America Civil War was sick.
I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man, to be honest. I love Ant-Man.
Cool. See you later.
Yeah.
Hey you, thanks for tuning into our video. Make sure you click one of these links so you can see more. And I'll see you next time.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you as well, with my eyes, watching always.